There's been warnings that through the years of evidence about the increased threat of wildfires to Hawaii, but these warnings received little attention beyond some scientists and obscure county documents. So there is a 1,044-page hazard mitigation plan. And it shows all of the buildings that are in a wildfire risk area. The document warns that populations with limited access to info may not receive time-critical warning information to enable them to reach places of safety. Yeah, but basically nobody saw this coming, and we've got to stop these sort of comments. We've got to stop. People around the world need to realize that the risks are getting larger and larger and larger. So the idea of a police chief saying nobody saw this coming, in any city, any place in the world, well, why not? Okay, they need to get training from people, right? They need to be told. They need to, government needs to set up sessions with scientists explaining these risks to people, because it's not like that all of a sudden climate change flipped the switch. Well, the switch got flipped because we really walked away from managing these lands. But, climate change did flip a switch. It seems like a threshold has been flipped in terms of the, the dryness and the, winds and, all of these.
Shortly after midnight, a brush fire was reported in the Olinda Road area of Kula. By 1 a.m., residents say they could smell smoke in the air. By 3:30, when evacuations were underway, a red glow lit the night sky. As my family and I evacuated,
I would just go down by Pukalani somewhere.
Okay. Reggie Kamasi, I'm in Kula, Maui. Maui is home for me, where I grew up, where my family and friends are still living. We didn't know what to expect when we got here. I just can't even wrap my head around what's happening on this island. I came up here to see what I'd been hearing from friends and families about a totally separate fire that was raging across the volcano, Haleakala, in the town of Kula. And I found land, thousands of acres burned, homes in pockets of neighborhoods, not everywhere, but some pockets that were completely burned out, and many evacuees from the Lahaina fires, which are about 35 miles away. I talked to family.
So, Mara, you've been in this neighborhood for 3 years now, working in this neighborhood. What was right here? Because it's hard for us to tell.
Right here, we had a family of, there was a big house, and then on the side, the guy used to live behind the garage. So there was multiple families in this house, and the one up above was one of my family members' house, her boyfriend's family's house.
And it's gone.
Yeah, it's gone.
What's it like to be here looking at this?
It's sad. I mean, I don't know where to deliver.
You don't know what to do with the mail.
Yeah, so we're holding it at the post office, and hopefully they know to come and grab the mail from the post office. But it's really sad just being out here like it's normal. Trying to keep things normal.
That's got to be hard.
Yeah.
And what's it been like? What have the residents told you as you've gone to their house to deliver mail?
They've been asking me, "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm okay."
And are the people staying here, or are they evacuated?
Some evacuated, and some are still here. But I'm trying not to leave any mail out because I'm scared that somebody's just going to grab their mail, and the people come around that don't live here just to grab their mail. And that's what I don't want for this community. Like, I want it to
Some people might hear that, Mara, and they may say, Mara, that sounds crazy during this time, but it's important for you to keep something that is routine here, right? Because this is so not the norm.
Yeah. So we just keep going, delivering mail, all the other routes too, and we're just holding everything. I mean, we just got to keep going. Yeah. Just trying to make everybody feel like life can still go on.
So there are still helicopters dropping water here. This seems to be an active scene where they're trying to fight wildfires, and yet you're still out here. Are you safe to do that?
Yeah, we're safe. I mean, we can wear masks, but it almost feels like it's just immune already since Tuesday. The smoke is just staying here, and hopefully a big wind just comes and blows everything away. You kind of just want to wake up and everything be gone.
What's been the toughest part so far?
The toughest part is seeing all the families not here that I used to wave at, or the two little kids up the street run to me and grab their mail, their brother and sister.
Were not contained and 1,100 acres had burned. Now it's safe to assume more acres have burned since then. This wind is relentless and keeps howling, and the smoke continues to increase. Now we went up to Kulalani and Aino Kula areas, and homes were completely burned to the ground, including cars. There were some homes right next door that were okay. One of the women that I spoke to whose house was intact said she sprayed her whole entire roof with water before evacuating, and her house is still there. We spoke to another lady who said that the community came together to put water on her house to help remain intact. And then we spoke to another Lahaina resident who has evacuated to Pukalani to stay safe for now. And here's what he had to say.
Everyone I know is homeless. Everyone I know has lost a home, lost a family member, lost their pets. There's nothing. No one has anything to give. We're just out here being miserable with each other at this point.
And if you are here on Maui and able to provide housing, if you're able to provide donations and you're wondering how to do so, please go to our website, khon2.com. These people definitely need all of our help together.
Flames as they went to get my elderly uncle was intense. And, you know, there was people running everywhere. But, you know, from what they told me is if you're on foot and trying to get out of Lahaina, they may not be alive right now. That's how bad it was.
Ulu Ranch opened Oski Rice Arena in Makawao for residents needing to evacuate farm and ranch animals. Among animals evacuated from the area were a number of alpacas and horses.
Then all of that stuff that grew up because of all the rain in the spring is perfect fuel for fires. When there's winds, of course, it brings copious amounts of oxygen. All you need is a trigger or a spark, and the thing can just become, you know, a blaze, which takes out a city. You know, the city was very, very unlucky in the climate casino.
I'm sure you can tell it's very windy here. I'm gonna try to shout so you folks can hear me, but just take a look at the fire. You can see the smoke being blown across of the mountain. Now, the Red Cross has staged its evacuation center at the Mayor Hannibal Tavares Community Center. It hasn't turned into a shelter just yet, but if it does, I'm told that location can accommodate about 100 people. Pukalani Superette has donated food there this morning, and I'm told the Salvation Army will also provide some food tonight. But
flames hopscotched through the Kula area in upcountry Maui, burning down some homes while sparing the neighbors.
We're using water hoses with a pressure washer to just have more pressure to use water to put out the fire.
Was it helping?
It was helping because, you know, just a regular hose with water dripping out wasn't putting out the fire, so the pressure washer was a big help.
Albert Louie and his sister Monica own the Kula Sandalwood Cafe and Inn. After fighting the fire for hours Tuesday night, they were forced to evacuate by Maui police.
The embers were flying overhead. The building was starting to catch fire, and they insisted that we leave, not in our own car. They put us in the MPD car.
They were taken to a shelter. When they returned Wednesday morning,
we expected ashes, and there is damage in the back. Propane tank is damaged. There are things that we are going to have to address, but the structure is intact and it's solid.
But the threat remains. Community members not threatened by fire rallied to help. Joshua Reeder and Andrew Spears live in Paia, but are making water runs to Kula to attack hotspots along the road.
I just moved from Lahaina, so that's like no-go zone right now, and my old houses are all toast. So just doing whatever we can.
Got a tote full of water and some shovels, and we're just paling out water, throwing it on the smolders, and trying to cover some dirt on top to try and extinguish so it doesn't flare back up.
When you look around at all this, what are your thoughts?
Oh, it's obviously super devastating. These are all families' homes with kids and our neighbors, and it's just devastating to see.
On Haleakala Highway, it wasn't just smoke and fire that closed the road. Fallen trees and toppled utility poles kept drivers out. Pukalani residents drove as far as they could to see if their neighborhood was in danger too.
This is just so devastating. It's unbelievable how fast it just came like that in all directions. And at our house, we had down P.E. Holo Fire, and then right across from us, what would you say, 200 yards?
About 200 yards.
And it just kept coming. We could hear it. It sounded like it was roaring like a river, like raging like a river.
They are prepared to evacuate if needed.
On the east side, you've got the wind, the moist trade winds here, a lot of rain on this side, and then the wind, the water gets taken out of the air. It's very dry, and then it comes down and it heats up. So it's very, very dry air, very low humidity, and the spark, and it just carried the fire extremely quickly. And